Hello and welcome, Rocket League fans. We are here and we are live. Little Rocket League action coming hot at you here for the WSSEA. We're in semifinals right now. I'm FBI Tugboat joined with me. It's Hot Sauce. Hot Sauce, how are we feeling on the day?
Hey, feeling great. Ready for some semifinal and final action here for the 2025 Fall Season Championships. And tonight, I know we've casted and seen play very well in the high school league at least. So we'll see if they can keep that strive alive. The number 4 seed taking on the number 8 seed of Medical Lake Middle School, who already had one big upset here in the postseason.
Yes, and big upsets. Definitely what we play this postseason for. Now, our ability to play this postseason and bring some of these classic competitions to you are in thanks to some organizations like Zotac. Hey everyone, we want to give a huge shout out to Zotac Gaming for powering today's stream. Thanks to their incredible support, we're able to bring this broadcast to all of you, which goes forth to help broadcast some of the amazing talent that we have in Scholastic Esports today. You can show your appreciation for Zotac Gaming by giving them a shout out over there on social media if you so choose. Make sure to join the community on Discord, and don't forget to use the hashtag powered by Zotac or Zotac USA when you post. Hot Sauce, super excited for this one. Like you said, the stage has kind of already been set here between these two teams, Tenino and Medical Lake. Medical Lake already establishing themselves as a team that is capable of going forth, providing an upset.
Yeah, I mean, they 2-0'd the 9 seed as an opener in round 1. They 2-0'd the number 1 seed in round 2. And so into the semifinals we go. Still only a best of 3. We won't see that best of 5 until we get into the grand finals. So every game incredibly crucial here right off the rip. We'll see if Medical Lake Middle School can continue this tear forward, or if Tenino will finally be able to put them in a stop in their tracks.
No, you're good. Like you said, there's a theme that's been established from the high school down. Tenino Middle would love to continue this one all the way through. I want to read out some of these names for you. First up, we have Medical Lake. We got Razor. We got Dub Dog. And we got Super Kitten. So we got a dog and a cat. The same team there, Hot Sauce.
Hey, I love it. I'm all for it. On the other side of things, though, we've got Nitro, Warp X, and then K and Gray as well. I see that subtag Finnick down there, so I expect them to be rocking a Finnick out on the battlefield here today as well. But we talked about it. We don't know as much about these middle school teams, but Tenino certainly has done very well in that high school region. So you got to believe they have a great program. But you look at Medical Lake Middle School, 2-0ing their way into the semifinals, knocking off that number 1 seed. They have to be feeling pretty confident heading into this one.
You got to, but at the same time, this is a 4 seed on an 8 seed. Semifinals, I mean, one of these teams just based on seeding you expect to be, and the other team, the 8 seed, everything in a bag of chips to prove here, Hot Sauce. And really, like, nothing to lose, right? You made it here. You've already put down some fantastic teams. Taking a look at these, so the way we do it here within the WSSEA is that the regular season decides postseason seeding, right? So, for example, number 1 seed Anathema, right here, the Hilltop Heritage Squad, got a bye the first round. That didn't really prove to be that much of a bye because that is the squad that this Medical Lakes Middle School squad would go forth and put down. There's plenty to be said about the argument of, like, on the day, is a bye really that good? Because a lot of times you'd want to play and kind of get hot, get your teamwork working, and cooperation on fire here in earlier rounds against supposedly are easier teams with lower seeds.
Yeah, I mean, you make a solid point. You look at the lower side of that bracket there as well, where the number 7 Mustangs, their second team, was able to have their first game go on to upset the number 2 seed. They're going to be playing around the same time as this game is going on against each other. Both Mustang squads have made it into the semifinals. So, unfortunately for them, only one can make it into the grand finals. And, of course, they'll be playing the winner of the match that we'll be showing on stream here in just a few moments.
Hot Sauce is a glass half empty kind of guy. I'm looking at his glass half full. A Rocket League Mustang squad is making it in to the grand finals. Now, all jokes aside, it's fantastic that this school is able to put forth not 1 but 2 different teams that are just absolutely tearing up the postseason right now. But it's fantastic that they're going to be making one in. It is just the natural way of numbers that they can't make both in. Let's get this one started here. Best of 3 starting right now.
It just goes to show how great that program is they have over there. But Medical Lake and Tenino about to go head-to-head here as we see them a little bit of early back and forth. We see that ball around midfield. It does get away from Medical Lake just a bit, but they pressure into the corners. Doesn't quite scoop up the 100 here. A nice pass across midfield, but not quite able to get there in time.
And we'll see how this one continues to go with a little bit of early aggression here, Hot Sauce. Gotta say, I gotta love it. Little bit of a flick pass down. Nah, that's going to get stopped as Froggy Gamer goes for a pinch against the wall. Now dashing in, realized that one was about to change possession. And a great job taking care of it. Up and down. It's a bouncing ball against top post Razor Crest, making the first shot for Medical Lake.
Yeah, great job by Medical Lake. They are the team that's been upsetting teams. They start off with a goal in the first minute. We talked about the Dub Dog and the Super Kid, but they got a Froggy out here as well. A little bit of the whole zoo, if you will. And certainly they're creating an early presence to be known here. Already up by 1. Tenino's fighting. A nice shot for that. It's a bit wide and to the right.
There
Look
you
for
go.
User to tuck it in, and it's a nice chip shot to find the equalizer.
This is the definition. In fact, you can even kind of see T9O Esports 218. They kind of, like for a quarter of a second, don't worry, we all were thinking it. We've all been there before. Wanting to just, yeah, I can get it in myself. No. This is a backboard pass, essentially. Defender bites onto the initial offender, and that is the time just to pass. Let your teammate go for that one. T9O tied this one back on up.
Yeah, we see both teams able to score here. Just barely a minute off the clock now. And Tenino looking for a second one as they pressure into the corner. The pass back here and now trying to find some space of their own. On the back pedal, though, it's a counterattack coming in from Medical Lake.
Up and over, and Razor Crest gonna get another. 3 shots, 2 goals made in, and this just kind of coming off the back of really kind of keeping the eyes on the ball, not shooting into this one quite yet. Defender had a decent shot, a decent attempt on the block right there. All for naught. Minute 15 seconds into this one, they got 3 scores already. Hot sauce.
Yeah, back and forth we go. I love these higher scoring games, especially when we get into these semifinal and finals here. But that one's going to slip by. A big double demo from Razor. The net completely open, but Medical Lake not quite able to capitalize. Tenino not out of deep water just yet, still searching for that clear. They find a half one here, but met at midfield, now pressuring forward. 3 toward the box here for Medical Lake as they try to tuck that one in, but it goes a bit far.
Yeah, and even those say sin too, they're just not really getting possession and getting this one cleared in the way that they want to. Now Razor Crest, it's a sidewards pass. An immediate stop as Froggy just completely flips the defense on their head. They don't really know where this ball was even going. And now another shot. Whoa, dangerous looks. Another little tipper right on into there. But a good job nonetheless for the defense here from Medical Lakes.
Great defense. Holding up at the moment. Tenino still searching for that equalizer once more. They've had to play from behind here in game number 1, and you see them searching for that clear yet again. Medical Lake coagulates together on this sideline, but they do pressure back. Defense has been on point. Honestly, Medical Lake playing great on both sides of the ball. This chip shot on an open net. It's borne down, and it somehow stays out.
Yeah, the thing is, this isn't wide open net. That's just if it was a little bit higher, it comes out, and it's a nice bouncing pass. But talk about flipping an offense or a defense into an offense. Tenino, a fantastic job. This isn't even like some huge, like crazy clear either. It just goes back down that other way, and nobody even really makes contact onto this ball until it's basically too late.
Yeah, great rotations coming in from Tenino. Medical Lake, we talked about how good the defense was, but under that pressure, just maybe a minor mistake that Tenino's able to capitalize on. No harm, no foul, though. They've been able to maintain the lead or keep it tied thus far. Tenino, though, seems to be picking up the pace. This relentless pressure now starting to grow even bigger. Maybe that snowball turning into an avalanche, and Medical Lake desperately needing to find a clear.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing, Hot Sauce, with these shorter series, best of 3 this is, there's really not a whole lot of wiggle room to be had here. No, not a full one and done, but pretty darn close to it, and it's going to feel like it after game number 1, no matter whose wins. 105 seconds left right here, trying to walk the dog themselves, not going to happen. Kit Kat Gojo going to be able to get that one in and blocked. We have that name on here? I don't think we did. Oh, well.
Yeah, that one maybe not on there as well, but you know what? Nonetheless, out here and having some fun, scoring some points. We find ourselves tied up 2-2 in game 1, but it's a snipe shot from Huz User here. And now Tenino, after trailing for the majority of this one, they find themselves up by 1, but there is still so much time left here in game 1.
Plenty of time, especially when you consider there's 5 total goals between these two teams. This was actually a backwards pass right here that just went really awry after Froggy couldn't really get a handle onto it. Leaves other player just scrambling, Razor just scrambling over towards this ball to try and hit it out anywhere, basically, instead of the front of the net. Now a little bit of a slowing down right here. Medical Lake is trying to get this one into the corner and almost gifted over an opportunity. Leaving a player back on the defense here, Medical Lake is. If they're ahead, I kind of understand this, sub 60, but Hot Sauce, I feel like you need 3 offenders, you need 3 attackers otherwise.
Yeah, especially when you get under this minute mark here, you really just begin to run out of time. And now it's Tenino knocking at the net, not able to crack the code, though, and Medical Lake keeps it out for a moment. T90 tries to pressure in. It's a good breakaway play here for Medical Lake, though. A demo in the background, one defender to beat, but off the wall, Finnick able to find the touch, and back the other direction we go.
Medical Lake should get this block. Yeah, that's hit way too far outside, but Kit Kat Gojo, a great job saving this one, and maybe a little bit of an opportunity here. That's going to be outside. Yeah, they're going to be really happy. That was to the outside, Hot Sauce.
That was so close, but it doesn't matter because the pressure is relentless, and how it begins might just be how it ends for OT, as Razor has found the first. He found the third here now for Medical Lake, and they have tied it up with just 13 seconds remaining.
Look, 7 shots attempted right there. Medical Lake giving over a lot of opportunity to this player. See how that continues to go, and if this one actually does get to overtime at this point. I feel like both teams be a little bit happy maybe taking the OT here and early, especially in a 3 games, or 3 at most, I should say, game series. That ball's going to hit the ground, and we got OT in game number 1.
I mean, Tenino trailed. They found the lead late. It looked good. Medical Lake finds a goal to tie it up with 13 remaining, and now in game 1 of what is only a best of 3, we find ourselves in OT. Both teams looking to win this first one. It's so nice to be in that driver's seat here in only a best of 3. So Finnick, early pressure. Kit Kat waiting patiently. It does sneak under, though, an opportunity, and Medical Lake will thwart this one away.
Yeah, a nice job right here. And Tenino honestly probably should have kept the offensive dreams and hopes alive right there. As it is, going back down the other way. Tenino low, but this is once again foisted to the right side, just a little bit to the outside.
Some real good passing plays coming in here from Tenino. Unfortunately, Medical Lake bumping into each other a little bit. It doesn't hurt them just yet, but still looking for that clear. It's a nice touch over the head, a little bit too much mustard. Had a teammate coming in, but doesn't quite connect here. And now Medical Lake looking for something in transition. These third player rotations from Tenino, though, feels like they're able to keep that ball possession down here for the majority of the latter half.
60+ seconds into OT. There's a lot of early aggression right here, and that was a perfect opportunity for Tenino players. They have to cheat, those comms have to come in, and those players have to cheat up to try and find any sort of value from that hit. Otherwise, you just put it from corner to corner.
Yeah, I think maybe just wanting to be a little extra cautious, not wanting to give up the first game. But what happened there, Tugboat? He sneaks this one in between. It's nothing too fancy, just a subtle chip shot from Tenino. It gets in between. We see them going up to try and find the block, but just before a minute and a half, Tenino able to steal away this game number 1, and now they only need one more to advance into the finals.
Yep, it gets close and it gets early. And taking a look at these shots, what surprises me is not the 9 total shots Medical Lake to 10 total shots to Tenino. What surprises me is how they're almost exactly distributed, right? One major shooter, user on one side, hat trick, assist, and a save. Major shooter, Razor Crest, 7 shots attempted, 3 goals, and a pair of saves right there. No assist, obviously, with the only goals on their squad. But that it's so top-heavy with one player getting a couple run in there, and then the third player not really getting a whole lot of anything, like shots-wise, Hot Sauce.
Yeah, and sometimes you just look for those bumps or demos. I mean, I think this was a really close game that could have gone either way. So I'm not necessarily, I don't necessarily think it was any specific rhyme or reason there, as long as everybody knows that role that they have to fill. Sometimes there is a little bit of a skill gap between players, so try to designate certain roles, but maybe just getting them a little bit more involved, or letting them know, hey, if there's someone with that ball, go ahead and attack them. Maybe try to find a bump or a demo and help create some space for us. You're
so right, Hot Sauce. It's so frequent in these competitions here. Cream of the crop of the middle schools here for WSSEA specifically. Nicely done. Razor Crest has a perfect look from the ceiling and just all the way inside. It's a very methodical goal, honestly. But it's so frequent that plays like the previous just happen, right? At these levels, it's not always just a single shot all the way inside. It's frequently going to be the result of those passes you were talking about.
Well, I mean, Medical Lake, it's a great start, a great way to answer back after a loss here. They find this first one. And it was Razor. Yet again, we talked about a couple of these shining stars out here on both of these squads. A nice pass setting up Razor over the top. One defender to beat. The power is there. Tenino gets up. They get a card to the ball, but it's just not enough. The momentum will carry it forward. And Medical Lake now enjoying a little 2-point cushion.
Great hit right here. So the reason why this ball doesn't get stopped, folks, in case you're not as familiar, defender jumps up, but they don't get enough of their, they don't jump up in time, so the angle the top of their car is not such that it's more of that wall. It's more like just, kind of angling inside, honestly, themselves, with only just really slowing it down, right? Obviously, if this is an offensive player, that's exactly what you want to do, except with a much easier angle, right? A much slower angle, and not closer to that 45 that you really want to actually stop it.
All about that geometry, baby. That's why it's important to do well in school. It can even help with Rocket League, but user says, I need no help for this one. You serve it up in front of the net. I'm going to take it away and put it on home. It's a wide open one, and sometimes the easiest ones are the hardest ones, but not right now, not for Tenino. They cut that lead in half, and we've got 3 goals, only 50 seconds off the clock here in game 2.
Yeah, crazy high-scoring game already. Kit Kat had a fantastic look, and that's just a tiny little tap. This is actually what I'm talking about, Hot Sauce, when I say that it doesn't always need to be the 200-mile-an-hour screaming demos that you get right there, right? Sometimes just a tiny little tapper like that completely renders useless any sort of offensive opportunity.
Absolutely. The same could be said with the boost. A lot of times we get our eyes on the shiny, big glowing orb in the corner, but there's plenty of nickels and dimes scattered throughout the middle of the pathing here to collect that boost. You don't always need the big one here, and Razor wisely tucking this one into the corner, pushes it downfield as well. A couple defenders waiting, but it does get by one. Around the horn we go, back the other direction. Met at midfield. Medical Lake really trying to apply some pressure now.
Yeah, they really have been. A nice tipper to kind of keep this ball over into that far third. Now, we'll call it a fake. We'll call it a fake right there to try and pull the defense off, right?
A little fake never hurt anybody, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. 2 minutes in, a bouncing ball to the inside. One defender back. Oh, he gets the nose inside, and the corner is no good.
Oh my, I'd like to see that one back in slow motion. That was insane. I don't know how they didn't get credit for the goal. Almost the entire ball crosses. Medical Lake, I think it was Kit Kat Gojo there on screen. It had a nasty pinch into the net, keeping that one out. And Medical Lake, at risk of seeing the game tied now, looks to pressure the other way. Still up by 1, just cresting, but not for long. It's T90 Esports, and Tenino will find a way to tie it up yet again.
Yeah, slowly squandering a lead. We've seen it before, and it's just that slow drip. Death of 1,000 cuts here, Hot Sauce. Tenino does it big. Early scorers going the way of Medical Lake. It's been Tenino since then, especially when you talk about this possession here. They win another kickoff, and that theme is going to continue.
They only tie it up, so it's something that can maybe be stopped with a Band-Aid at the moment, but certainly need to want to find a way to slow them down. Tenino through the sky. They say, I will not be denied, but this defense from Medical Lake, it's been holding strong. It's getting a little dangerous, though. They need to find a clear. Starting to get starved of their own boost, and we see them bunching together around the net here, and this is where it starts to get dangerous for the defense.
Yeah, and every time they flick this one over the heads of a defender, now you're just bettering the odds for yourselves, because this Tenino offense is set up, organized, communicative, and they have full boost. Almost got it to the teammate, though. And it's going to be a slow rolling clear to the outside. Razorcrest decides to pick up big boost on their way. Ooh. That is money for Medical Lake.
Talk about splashing that one on in. We got to take another look. Razor says, sometimes I just got to take matters into my own hands. Power is around the corner. A beautiful touch. We see the defender from Tenino trying to get back in front of that goal line, but just can't quite get there in time. Finds a touch, but not the one they need. Medical Lake back on top here. Just about 90 seconds left in this one.
Ball to the corner, a little bit of a slower play. Want to give you all an update. Rocket League Mustangs won out of Mason. Yes, they have gone forth and won 2-0. Low roller, and a great job from Medical Lake keeping this one away from the Tenino Middle School. So winner of this going to be playing Rocket League Mustangs 1 from that Mason Middle School squad at the end of this best of 3.
And that one will be a best of 5, so a little bit more of a breathing room in case you do have an error. But Tenino in that driver's seat, they've already got 1 win on the board. They're trying to find a way to tie it up, and they'll get it here. It's relentless pressure. It's shot after shot, and these rotations come in here. We see this one off the crossbar from Tenino, and now User, he was the big scorer in the previous one. He finds another big goal here with just about a minute left, and I'm having flashbacks a little bit from game number 1.
You got to. I mean, these are 2 very well evenly matched squads, Hot Sauce. It's not going to surprise me whatsoever if both or all 3, hint on, who might win this game, games go all the way on into that overtime situation. Looking real good. Tenino gets an opportunity, but this Tenino, T90 Esports 28, I think it was, just gets there, I'm going to call it a 10th of a second too late.
And it just goes to show you how much talent is littered across all these teams in the playoffs. We've seen some big upsets, but these number 8 seeds competing with number 1 and 2 seeds here as well. And so, they might be slightly favored, but I think that's why we saw Medical Lake already topple 2 games and now fighting to stay in this one. They need to find a win here in game 2. They want to take it all the way to 3, but Finnick through the sky, eventually blocked off. Razor tries to scoop it up. 1 defender to beat. Finnick now in the background to help as well. The pass connects to Medical Lake. 5 on the clock, and we might just have another overtime.
Tenino, they have an opportunity here. Got to keep it aloft. Oh, no. Jumps off the wall right there. Can't get under ball, and another opportunity squandered. It's no T situation. If Tenino is going to do it, they got to do it right now. Up and over, and it's a quick finish. A dagger to the heart of Medical Lake here in game number 2 to wrap up this series. Game 1 looks exactly like game number 2. 4-3 in OT without a whole lot of time to play. Tenino Middle School moving on along to the grand finals.
And now we talk about those flashbacks from game 1. Here it happens maybe just a little bit quicker, but I mean, Finnick really getting involved this time. We saw User with the MVP in the previous one. This time it was Finnick. Razor down there, 601, 3 goals, 4 shots, 2 saves as well. I mean, it certainly was not for lack of trying here for Medical Lake. They put up one heck of a fight, put on a nice little show for us as well, but we will say bye to them as Tenino gets to advance into that grand finals. As you mentioned, Mustangs team 1 beating out Mustangs team number 2 to advance here as well. So should be an exciting finals and a best of 5, which, I tend to like the longer series a little bit better in Rocket League.
You got to, right? With the amount of randomosity, things can be only chalked up to the Rocket League gods. You have to, extend the series as best you can, especially for the grand final. So huge shout out to WSSEA, huge shout out to Landfest for really, rolling with the punches and still providing that most optimal opportunity for these 2 best squads move on along into Rocket League, through the esport of Rocket League and go into the ultimate competition, not penultimate. I learned this recently, Hot Sauce, by the way. Penultimate means the second best, or like the next to last, next to final. Penultimate is not the biggest one, despite what it sounds like, folks. So a little grammar lesson or whatever here from FBI Tugboat and Hot Sauce.
I'm glad you informed me so I didn't make a fool of myself as well, because I didn't know. But we do need to take a moment to get these players loaded into the lobby here as well. So we're going to toss it over to a short break. A great time to stretch the legs, maybe grab the snacks, but don't go too far. When we come back, we've got the Rocket League Championship Finals for the middle school.
Hello and welcome back, folks. WSSEA Rocket League continues now. Grand Finals coming up. In fact, we got Tenino taking on Mason. Yes, Mason, team number 1 just took down team number 2. 3 seed taking on the 7th seed, putting them down there. Tenino taking on Medical Lake Middle, putting them down there. That's one of those times, Hot Sauce, we always talk about, oh, well, the final score line not indicative of that 2-4-3s in overtime. It's exactly how that match was always going to end. But now a best of 5 coming up right here. Undying honor and glory on the line right here, as well as a trophy. As well as a trophy for the winning squad. So how exciting.
Yeah, a little bit of bragging rights, a little first place trophy as well to hoist up at the end of the day. And I mean, 2 very evenly matched teams, I would presume, as well. We've seen a lot of close matches throughout here, whether it was the first seed or the A seed. But Mason Middle School Mustangs, that number 3 seed, Tenino, the number 4 seed. So it should be another good one that hopefully has a couple overtimes as well as, and maybe that elusive game number 5.
Exactly. Hey, we would love it. It's grand finals. It's time for it. Just want to be clear as well. That is supposed to say Mason Rocket League 1, just to be clear if I'm reading this bracket correctly. Tenino, one of the best things they did here, Hot Sauce, in the previous matchup was to go forth and play proactive Rocket League, right? Not just reactive Rocket League, always trying to, keep the other squad from doing what they want to do or just trying to take possession or anything else like that. No. They were reactive in how the game was going, whether they were down, whether they were up, whether it was just overtime situations and no real advantage whatsoever, right? They always had that proactive game plan. What I really, really want to see is Mason come through here and get that one done and play the same kind of Rocket League to make this a longer series.
Yeah, I mean, in both of those games, we saw Medical Lake score first and at times have a 2-point lead. So Tenino was comfortable from playing behind. So I think, it's going to be important for Mason to come out swinging here in those early moments. You don't want to allow Tenino to build that early lead. They've been a dangerous team, and, well, it seems like pressure doesn't bother them. They've had 2 successful OT wins, one that didn't take very long at all, but enough about that and more about this. The best of 5, the grand championship here, Mason Middle School Mustangs versus Tenino Middle School.
Mason, the defensive side here first. That's an easy clear. It almost picks up a big boost along the way, so Unsettled was actually thinking they were going to be able to pick up that boost and actually get up to this one, kind of corner it out and over towards the middle. Doesn't quite make connection with no boost. It's a fake to the teammate, we'll call it. A shot down bottom. All 3 members of Tenino bite on this one, and if there was a time to shoot in a ball, it would have been that one.
Sometimes it just doesn't quite line up, but it was a nice opportunity. Mason searching for more, but Tenino steals this one away near the front of the net, tucks into the corner, steals the 100 away as well. It's a nice cross, but it does go a bit too far, and now they bump into each other as well. Mason now an opportunity for a counterattack, but Tenino, these third-player rotations have been on point all day.
Another hit right there. It's just kind of a fight over the possession. Oh, a great job on the first hit. Goes for the defender. What a defensive play by that Tenino member. Who was that? Was that Finnick?
I wasn't too sure there, to be honest, and I hate to say it, but I'm old and so are my eyes. So
yeah, no, I hear you.
Maybe moving a little too fast for me to figure out which one found that stop in the background, but you're right. It was a beautiful stop from Tenino, and now an opportunity downfield, knocking at the net user. He's been that force to be reckoned with here for the majority of this one. A bunch of goals already in the bag, but searching for the first one here in game 1. It's been a much lower scoring game than we're used to here, and already we get closer to a couple minutes off the clock. Both teams still at 0.
Another opportunity, and Finnick barely waffles their way to the left side to hit this the right way, right? Kind of twisting and turning their wheel to the left and then right. Was concerned that maybe they were going to center this one up for the offense here. They have a mini rule one over there in front of net. They're not going to adhere to that one, not fully stuck. It's only the time that it counts. Ball up, ball out. Another Tenino member there, though.
Unsettled. Will fall off, allow a teammate to scoop it up. On board with Mason 110 across the horn in front of the net. Luckily, this one does go flying by here for them as Mason now looks to carry something in transition. Almost finds the flip reset just under that one. And now it's Finnick the other direction. One defender to beat. Has some help from a teammate as well, but can't quite get the touch they need. they get the help from the opposing team, who unfortunately bumps into its own goalie here. An own goal coming in for Mason, and now they have to work from behind here against Tenino.
I see what they're trying to do. I believe that's Mason 108 trying to get this nosed down to the teammate as they have a much better angle at it. I think that was unsettled. Might have been 118, not sure. Regardless, hey, color me surprised here. First goal is going to be an own.
Well, it does happen sometimes, and luckily for Mason as well, it's very early into game one. They've got a chance to slowly bring it back, but that hill is going to slowly turn into a mountain if they allow Tenino to score in bunches. Yeah, you guessed it. It's User once more over the top of the pass from Finnick to find goal number 203. We talk about it all the time. I mean, that can seem like an eternity in Rocket League. Plenty of time for Mason, but you need to see them score before Tenino does, and they get it off the kickoff.
Off the kickoff. So generally you're going to have a middling player kind of sit back at this one. That's for the that is exactly the reason why player Finnick there needed to be just cheated back a tiny little bit more. And even if this had if nothing else, hot sauce, that gives them time to react to when this ball does just come barely lofting above their heads.
Oh, Mason, that's that own goal potentially erased, but they still got to find one more to get the equalizer. Finnick through the sky, a bump on the goalie near the net, and somehow Mason 108 gets back for a crazy save, trying to find it in transition. Finnick right there, the bicycle now floating high and dry around midfield, and now they bump into each other a bit. Mason, if they can attack this ball, there's a wide open net for the shot, a bit wide and to the right.
Yeah, Finnick was there, and so probably could have covered any ball that was set top slotted, right? That's neither here nor there. I would have loved an offensive push on there, and of course, once you do that, that forces the hand of the defender, which is never really a bad thing. Backboard, back out, way too fast at this one. User was, but teammate 108 going to have an opportunity back to the corner, and I got to say, Mason Middle School has been tripling up and triple committing on these just a little bit too much. It's the double commit right before this one from Mason off to this right corner, right? See both of these players trying to bite onto this one. One has to just really chase on back to this goal, and another second rotated previously, and they might have been back there and been in a defensive position, but that is not the universe we live in as of right now. 2-score lead for just under 60 seconds to go for Tenino.
Yeah, it was a Mason pressure outward too. They just both happened to drive by the ball that they had previously touched. So Tenino picks the pocket, drops it in, finds that 2-point cushion that we often talk about. A little bit of breathing room, especially this late in game one. 40 seconds, time wearing down, and these big booming clears from Tenino just continue to eat up the clock. Mason trying to hold on, but with only 30 seconds, and the fact that they need to, it's not the most common thing you see.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Now we see the turtle shell defense here from Mason. They're committing two members to one side of the field like you see as of right now, two back to the defense. Mason goes high, teammate can go low. It's a great defensive look, but they're going to have to flip this field and get it done on the other side. Well, that just got a lot more interesting.
It does get a little spicier, but you would have liked to seen this goal come in about 20 seconds earlier. 9 seconds on the clock isn't a ton of time to work with. You have to hope for either a great kickoff or the fact that you're able to keep the ball up in the air and give yourself a solid opportunity. The kickoff does go in their favor. Dangerously close to the net. The save, not quite there. The kickoff from Mason Middle School. And we find ourselves tied up with 4 seconds on the clock. I think it was User here. He gets up, he finds a touch with the momentum heading back toward the net, enough to carry it in. Can Tenino find an OT or a late regulation goal here?
Tenino keep this ball aloft. A hit to the right corner. That's going to hit ground. And we have another overtime. 3 games on broadcast so far, Hot Sauce. All 3 are going to end 4-3 in overtime.
I mean, it just goes to show the plethora of talent that's littered across each and every one of the middle schools here in the bracket today. And you love to see this type of competition, these students getting this experience at such a young age. The other direction, and Tenino almost tasting some of their own poison here. It was an early opportunity for Mason, but a phenomenal stop from Tenino.
Yeah, that was T90 right there that pulled off and realized their teammate has a much better angle at that one. You still got to get in a position. You still got to try and cover that one if nobody has it. Tenino, cornered shot. They wanted to that one actually a little bit more to the left side, so it bounced centered. It's a hit over to the right corner now. Mason 110 looking dangerous, but it's going to be Finn extending this one away from the center of this net for at least a little bit. All gets around one, but not two.
That was a good attack by Mason. Unfortunately, had no boost in the tank, so had to pull off, but met at midfield, the 50 in the favor of Tenino. This gets over a defender as well, and now they just have to touch it on in. Tenino, where they seem to shine in OT yet again. 4-3 for the third time here today, but it's just the first one in this best of 5.
Yeah, it's all dubs for Tenino as well, right? The first game lasted, what was that, like a minute 15. Second game lasted all of like 15 seconds. Third one here, about a minute and some change. Let's take a look at the numbers. It was User earlier that was absolutely putting up those lion's share of these offensive shots. It was Finnick here in the third match that they played on broadcast that really went forth and got this done. 7 shots, 4 saves as well. One of their 3 goals, that hat trick assisted as well. Some fantastic stuff. Yes, so they assisted User on their only goal. And that one, 2 shots, both of those players.
What a fight back from Mesa Middle School, though. I think this is going to be an exciting series. But again, we talk about it much like in that best of 3. When you lose that first game, it's similar to losing 2 here in a row. You don't want to allow Tenino to get to match point with 3 additional opportunities to close it out. So ideally, you hope to see Mason battle back, tighten up here in this series a little bit. But Tenino, I mean, they've won every game so far, whether it's been overtime or not. They find a way to get it done here. And so I feel like the momentum may be slightly in their favor. I think game 2, a good opportunity for Mason Middle School to game.
Yeah, it's a fantastic point as well. 2-0 is obviously exactly the way that Tenino put down Mount Baker. That was the Octanes over there. Whether or not it was in overtime, I feel like I need to know now. If we can get some of our wonderful production staff here on the day. That is Connie, that is Taylor or Mo producing away, making our jobs as casters that much easier. Absolutely love it. Absolutely. We'll get that information for you guys. Game 2 starting here in just a little bit. Is there anything you need to see out of Mason? Like, these have all been close games, and this game 1 of this best of 5 is no exception.
I mean, there's one thing that I always ask of any team, really, and maybe I'm just a bit selfish, but it's the bumps in the demos. I love seeing the bumps in the demos come out, whether, you find a pass or a shot and you just look for that bump or that demo as you're circling out on those third-man rotations. But bumps and demos, again, we talk about it. It opens up space on offense. It can alleviate some pressure on defense, and it can also be mentally frustrating for your opponent. If you're consistently demoing the same target, they don't get an opportunity to play. It's like, I just want a chance to play some Rocket League. So, I mean, it's something that can kind of creep into the mental as well. And so I'm a fan of using every aspect of the game. But Mason played very solid. They just got off to a little bit of a slow start in game 1. So now that we're feeling good, I expect a little bit more, and maybe that can be enough to take them over the edge here in game 2.
Yeah, because, this wasn't the same situation that we saw earlier, with Medical Lake, right? It wasn't like Medical Lake going up, way early and then Tenino chipping their way back. This was a very even-handed Rocket League match. Even if one team scored first and didn't really go forth and really seemed like it made a statement upon, the overall feel, the vibe, if you will, of that game number 1. We'll see how this game 2 goes.
Nothing but good vibes all the way around. Here to have fun is the ultimate goal. But, of course, both of these teams wanting to raise that trophy at the end of the day. And it's already Tenino again, early pressure. We talked about Tenino's great ability to be able to score and score in bunches. T90 again, this time from a distance. And they'll enjoy an early lead with about 34 off the clock.
Yeah, and this is maybe we're reaching towards that one a little bit for Mason. If I had any one single point to be to split this field, to stretch the pitch a little bit more here, because it seems like all 3 of those players, all 3 of those red names I kind of see within the same quadrant, right? The various eighths of this map that's divided evenly. I feel like they're very frequently in the same one, or at least very close to it. That's an open net. Oh my God!
Off some demos that we saw right there in front of the net as well. It was a good opportunity. They don't quite bring this one to fruition, but they're not done yet. They're still here. I would have liked to seen that pressure forward, at least send one of the 3, but a little bit of a hesitation there, and now we see the ball heading the other direction.
Opportunities, and nothing. Mason 110 now screaming down the other side of the pitch, and the first hit's just a little bit too much to the outside. Nobody's really back right here, and that's 2 goals. The same play that Tenino probably should have given up.
Yeah, I mean, hey, they'll take what they can get. They had an own goal earlier that was just enough to win that for them, really. I mean, you think if Mason didn't have that own goal, where they'd be sitting, potentially one above and a winner of game 1. But now dealing with some momentum issues of Tenino, this team that's playing near flawless here and being relentless. A lot of shot after shot. We see the third man rotations coming into play. Now Mason looking for a little bit of action of their own.
Got to get on top of this one. That's gotta be a bigger clear right here. This is just 2 hits back to back to the left-hand corner, their left-hand corner. That's not a clear. That one's a little bit more, but it just ends up going to the other side of the corner yet again. Demo along the way, so Tenino's going to have a mild numbers advantage for a couple of seconds. That player back. A bouncing ball. If they get this vertical, yeah, brutal. Absolutely brutal. You have 2 players like kind of sitting almost perpendicular to this, or parallel, excuse me, to this net, right? Like one kind of turn to the inside, one kind of turn to the outside. One needs to be farther back, and one needs to be on sidewall or already in the air at that point. Hot sauce.
Yeah, someone's got to challenge and let the other have the opportunity to go up there. It's tough. In a game like Rocket League, you almost never want to be stationary. Always trying to keep that momentum rolling. And speaking of momentum, Tenino and users seem to be on fire. A 3-0 lead. Mason Middle School cannot afford to give up another goal in this game, and they've got to start putting them on the board as well.
Hey, dude, it's cool, man. We've gotten 3-4 overtimes every game so far. Mason comes back, puts back 1, 2, and then 3. We go back to overtime, my friend.
I believe.
I believe, but man, we have not seen a team overcome this 3-score deficit in regular time thus far on this broadcast. Obviously, matches going on before we actually went forth and picked this up. This should be a definitive clear. It is a little bit of a run. Oh man, I didn't even see this Tenino player kind of coming from the outside and immediately just killing that one before it really rose.
And these black cars just lurking in the shadows here and popping out at any opportunity they get to find a score. It's a nice commanding lead and great passing plays right now. They're not doing anything too crazy or fancy. It's just good old-fashioned Rocket League, and by doing so, they're just looking for an easy opportunity, and they're buying up a ton of time off the clock. Another near open net, but the shot not quite there. Mason still desperately searching for that first one.
Yeah, and they play the corners really well, and they're even able to bring possessions out of those corners really well, but it's just about the follow-up afterwards. Like that right there is a perfect example. Those are the kinds of clears we need from Mason for them to get in the offensive stance quickly.
Needing clears, needing goals, and time quickly dwindling down here now for Mason Middle School. Up into the sky, though, looking for an opportunity. A bit wide and to the right. Good to scoop up the 100 there in the corner, maybe starve him a bit. Nino gets caught driving backwards there, which is a very dangerous play. It doesn't come back to haunt him, and somehow they go the other way and find another. I'm not sure if it's the final nail in the coffin for game 2, but it's certainly an additional one.
Yeah, no, this is definitely going to feel like it as well. I mean, 2 scores, nice cushion. We also call that the most dangerous lead within the great game of Rocket League, right? Never want to sit on your laurels. 3 scores, a little bit of a different story, but sub-64 scores. At that point, I'm going to be reminding Mason Middle School that they do have another game after this one. Now, there's no reason whatsoever to give this one up. It's definitely possible. I'm just saying, very, very unlikely. That is a solid start off a backboard. How do they play this? Inside, unsettled, gets one. Well, it just got a little bit more possible, Hot Sauce.
Yeah, I still don't see them coming back and winning or even tying this game up, but they could potentially find a goal or 2 more and make it 3, which I think is a couple important things. A, you make it close, and B, well, then you begin to get a little momentum for that next game where it is do or die for you. So we see Mason starting to heat up. It was another nice shot on target, but again, a bit wide and to the left. You see that defender heading that direction. If you can cut that shot back to the right, you might just be able to find a goal there.
Yeah, and Unsettled is going to know that one as well. Going for a little bit of a ground pinch, it looks like. Try and hit this one out and in. I mean, Time is the worst enemy of Mason as of right now, and 3 scores, 15 seconds. Yeah, unfortunately, we do not have enough chronological resource, which is just a fancy way of saying time, folks. This Mason Middle School squad to come back. 4-1, 5-1, 4-2. However it ends, it will be the same. Yep, it's going to be 4-1 to 9-0, taking down back-to-back games here in the grand finals. First game was pretty even-handed there, Hot Sauce. Can't say the same about game number 2. And still, the shots attempted goes the exact same way. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, but Tenino, they just play so well together. I mean, we saw it in the very first game that we got to see them on stream. The passing plays have been phenomenal for them getting downfield. They've 2-0'd everybody along the way as well. And so, I mean, they haven't dropped a single round here in the postseason, which I think speaks volumes for them. We talked about how great the program is. We saw the high school dominate last season. I know they're playing well this season, but this time it's the middle school looking to claim that championship, first place prize and trophy here. Tenino, 1 game away here in the best of 5. Mason now hanging on by a thread.
Oh, down low. Mason strikes first. It's an early one as well, a gut punch. Will it be one that Tenino can come back from and end up this series 3-0 fashion? Well, here's the stat line for you. Team that's scored first has gone forth to win 3 out of our 4 matches on broadcast thus far, folks. Any fans of Mason out there are going to be happy about that one.
Well, hopefully that works out in their favor. If you're Mason, though, you don't want to get complacent. You want to find goals in bunches. It's hard to believe that a team would beat Tenino with only a single goal, given the fact that Tenino has scored 4 goals in every single game they've been on here today. So
that's a good point.
Mason has to keep up the pace, and so far doing a great job. We're seeing some early pass plays here across the squad. They're spreading the field nicely as well, getting a few more attempts a little bit earlier than we're used to see it.
That's 16 scores across 4 games, excuse me. Like you said, man, pretty crazy. 60 into this one. Tenino not really having any definitive looks at this one. A bouncing ball. Man, oh man. Really the greatest enemy of Mason in this series so far has been and I mean a few degrees, like a handful of degrees differences, right? On a dozen different shots.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a ton of really close shots, a couple with an open net there as well. But sometimes when you're going fast, we say all the time, these students make it look much easier than it is. It's hard to orientate that car properly, but not this time. Mason 110 will find a second goal, and the Mustangs are starting to find their stride.
Perfect time to develop into a gallop here. Game 3. The reverse sweep is going to happen. Hot Sauce is going to have to start right here. 2-score cushion. It's a great thing. Go forth and, well, not rest or sleep on. That's usually what you use cushions for. But do not give it up quite here early.
We'll see if they can canter their way into a victory here as they're circling around now in that defensive half. And Tenino, a good opportunity, but Mason keeping cool here, finding a nice stop. Now in transition, 110 around the horn. A pass that ends up in front of the net, and Tenino has to push this one into the corner. A counterattack now coming into play, but no boost in the tank here for Finnick. Oh, my.
Yeah, and it's been a great job of this offending squad on Tenino to go forth and just rob boost here and early to try and get these situations, like long and contrived as they may be. I mean, right now, look, we'll watch on the replay. Mason is a Mason player has been so starved of boost, they're literally pushed to the opposite corner. We might get a second look at this one after the actual score. Not 100% sure which one it was. Yeah, not 100% sure which one it was, but they're so starved for boost, they have to cut back to the opposite side corner, and that leaves -1 defender in front of box.
Yeah, timing. Team communication is where that all comes into play there, and a very important aspect of a game like Rocket League here is these young students begin to build that team communication. They're only going to get better with time as Mason don't enough time to find another one. Halfway through it, they've only got a 1-point lead, and you got a feeling that they need another here. We talked about Tenino's ability to score and score in bunches, but Mason has done a great job of making these adjustments, not just on offense, but on defense as well.
Yeah, and Mason probably needs to, so they get it across backboard pretty well. Obviously, a lot of these are honest shots, but they get it. Oh, no! A perfect opportunity squandered after the triple commit from Mason. 2 players from Tenino hitting against each other as they both try and line this one up. This is the perfect time for just a simple quick chat. I got it. I got it.
Well, Tenino hasn't made many mistakes in any of these games here, so it's nice to see that they're human as well. And Mason now needing to capitalize on these opportunities, though. They're looking for that first win, and it's a nice shot, but an even better save from Mason 110. He's been all over the field here in this one. 2 goals on the board, a couple nice saves, and still fighting now for their first one in this series.
Yeah, that was an absolutely fire defense. Getting a defensive play, as I should say, that being able to get down to that corner, nose up and out. I mean, no, it's not a huge clear, but you keep that ball from going inside. Trying to play it off the backboard. Almost put it in themselves. No, they do it again. Oh, my goodness. And out. Oh, my goodness. Tenino is fighting against themselves.
I have no idea how that didn't go in, and I'm sure Mason's very thankful it didn't, but they have to take a deep breath as well. There was a lot that happened, a lot of commotion. It creates a beautiful chaos, and now it continues as well. They are flirting with disaster at the moment. 40 seconds left on the clock. They need a clear. They need some boost, but Tenino, relentless on the pressure. Finnick through the sky. No boost in the tank, but Mason still finds a save.
Mason 110 is absolutely nasty on the defensive sides thus far in this game here, Hot Sauce. Put a couple absolute guardian angel plays, brick wall impersonations here for Mason Middle School. 18 seconds. We've seen last-second goals a couple of times before. A bouncing ball forces the hand of the defender. Now back out from the corner up top. No, cannot connect with it. Almost got it to the corner.
5 seconds here, and this one's on target.
Oh, my.
A low and slow deep floater to Nino. They are the kings of this. It's 3 seconds remaining. They find the equalizer, and so far, we know what happens in overtime. Mason Middle School might be a little worried here now.
Yeah, that's a fair statement here, Hot Sauce. A bouncing ball left to dead, and we have 4 out of 5 games so far on broadcast going down to overtime. Are you not entertained? T90, that's a bad mistake. You don't pick up corner boost. You hit to the side so your teammates can put this in and quickly win the WSSEA Rocket League Middle School Championship for your squad. Inside,
here
bang!
It comes. Just like that. Only 19 seconds this time. Tenino at risk of dropping their first game. They find a way to topple them yet again, and now Tenino Middle School are your WSSEA 2025 Fall Middle School champions.
Fantastic. Repeating the theme of their high school counterparts, right? Heck, you probably see some of these middle school players over there at Tenino High here in a couple of years. Hot Sauce? Well, they're going to be remembering this one in a fantastic competition, 4/5 of which went down to overtime. Went down to 1-score games right there. Obviously, the middle game right there, 1-4, not particularly close. This was off the back of a couple Mason mistakes, but Mason played a fantastic game across games 1 and 3.
Honestly, all of these students here throughout the tournament bracket should hold their heads high. We've seen so many close series, and it takes a lot to get out there and compete. So regardless of the outcome here today, they should all be very, very proud of themselves. But it will be Tenino grabbing that championship. It's great to see. And so a job well done. I mean, very, very well deserved. Only one of these games didn't go to overtime. Every single one but one separated by a single point. And so really an absolute cinema for everybody involved today here.
It really was. It really, really was. Like I said, man, undying honor and glory. This is something these students will be able to take with them for a long time. And over to Mason, I mean, making it to the grand finals, especially the fashion in which they did it, right? This is a squad that 2-0'd the Hilltopper. Oh, yeah, the Hilltoppers, man. These, of course it's 6-7. The Hilltop Heritage Middle School squad. That's what they named their team there. Dude, the Hilltoppers have done amazing things in the WSSEA last semester and previous years and whatnot. Being able to 2-0 them, fantastic. Obviously, it may not have felt great 2-0ing your sister squad, right, with the same middle school coming in there in the semifinals. But hey, Well, like Highlander said, right? There like the movie The Highlander said. I don't believe Highlander was an actual person. There can only be one. How about that for a drawn-out quote? Fantastic stuff, Hot Sauce. Fantastic stuff. I do want to go ahead and give a big shout out to one of the organizations that make competitions just like this one possible. That is, of course, LandFest. This broadcast has been part of LandFest's Scholastic Esports program, right? A program that supports this league and many, many others. Now, since launch, LandFest has delivered over 300 broadcasts to Scholastic leagues in Washington and Indiana. And I know this copy is old, so that 300 number is way higher now, Hot Sauce. We provide these broadcasts free of charge to the leagues, to the schools, and the teams that we do cover. Now, your generous donations are part of what makes this possible now. Every $200 raised covers the operating costs for one of these regular season broadcasts or here postseason. And if you appreciate our work, you scan the QR code right there on the screen. Donate today if you so choose. Big fat shout out to LandFest. Big fat shout out to Zotac. I also want to give a huge shout out to our production staff. Yes, as Connie and as Taylor here on the day, producing away and making our job as casters that much easier. And to Jaden, I believe Jaden, she's like boots on the ground, right? Actually, over there, wrestling all the kids together to go, hey, you be here, come compete here, this station, everything else like that. It's a process. It's a process. So big shout out to Jaden, what she's doing down there. Again, boots on the ground at the actual land. Hot Sauce, I do believe this is my least favorite part of any broadcast, my friend. And, of course, is the end. Do you have anything else for the good people before you do bid them adieu off this great, fantastic Rocket League day?
Nah, just again, shouting out the people behind the scenes. They don't often get enough credit. So a big shout out to all of them, the coaches, the teachers, everybody involved in WSSEA here, as well as all the young students. And, of course, everybody that came to hang out and chat. We certainly appreciate each and every one of you taking your time out today to support such wonderful and young talent. We'll remind you guys to hit that follow button so you don't miss out on any of the action. I believe Pokemon Unite coming up tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific there as well. So we hope to see you back here tomorrow. My name is Hot Sauce. The handsome man to my digital right is FBI Tugboat. You guys have been beautiful. Take care. See you tomorrow at 4.